Thank you so much for doing this today, Sean. Will you just give a little intro of who you are and the center you're with?
I'm Sean Mathis. I'm with Oakwood Bowl in Enid, Oklahoma. We've been around since 1976.
Wow,
We're a 40
bicentennial
lane
year.
house.
Yeah, you guys have a couple different attractions, right? You have
We have bumper
carts.
cars,
Yeah, carts.
bumper
Yep.
cars. We actually have flip zones, which they flip end over end and in circles, and then just your regular in circle bumper cars. And
Mhm.
then we have an 8,000 square foot arcade. And then the most recent ad is 1 through 12 is now clutch bowling. So
Cool. Yes, let's talk a little bit about kind of what your situation was, business wise, marketing, kind of before, you and I started working together. Could you paint a little bit of a picture of what that was like?
yeah, before you and I started working, we had a website. It was not up to date. It was like 3 years behind. We have a Facebook page. It was whenever I found time to post pictures that I took in the center or events, they were on there. Marketing just didn't really happen. If it wasn't face to face, it just wasn't there. We weren't really out there. We had our business and we weren't struggling for business. We were keeping the doors open, but we were always ready for more.
Yeah. So the capacity's there, not hurting, but unless you did it, it just wasn't getting done.
Correct. And
Mhm.
there's only so many hours in a day and so many days in a week. And it felt like I was stretching myself three different directions because I was trying to keep up with social media and the website and everything else and day-to-day operations and management of the restaurant and the everything. I was everywhere.
Right. So yeah, so you're the man with all the hats trying to get that done as well, and usually just falls by the wayside.
There are things that fall by the wayside. And one of them
Mhm.
was the website and the social media and things like that.
Mhm.
It's just that's not at the top of the priority. Lane 12 that's broken down, that's the top of the priority.
Of course. Mhm.
If they're broken, they're not making any money. So it was a struggle to get to those things because we were busy doing other things that needed to be done in center and outside of center for community development and things like that.
Right. And then, you got your regulars in there. Do you think that you were reaching like outside of that, or tell me a little bit about maybe some of the reach that you guys were getting?
So we were getting a little bit of reach because I am going on when you and I talked, I was going on year number 9 of a trunk or treat that I do. We have
Right.
about 3,000 that come into the parking lot and get candy, but we weren't reaching full potential. We live in an area where there's like 55,000 people and an Air Force base. So when you're only reaching 3,000, I mean, yeah, we have our regulars that are here. Those are your league bowlers and we don't want to join a league because we don't want to be tied down, but at the same time, we want to come in occasionally and have
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
So we had that. And we had the schools because we reached into the schools, and then we did a little advertising with like our local sports teams and things like that. But there really wasn't a whole lot that we were doing outside of any of that. And then we brought you along.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, what that was like, the initial piece, and then maybe what it's like today.
So initially, I was super stressed because we had tried a marketing company before and they just didn't, I don't know, they didn't know about the bowling industry, I think. I think that was the one thing that I can say from them to now is they didn't really know what was needed in a bowling alley or a bowling center or a family fun center at that. So they were leading in one direction and it just wasn't panning out. So when we met with you guys, like I said, I was super stressed and didn't know, what to think. And we're now going on month number, I want to say 6 or 7
Yeah.
with you guys. And I'm super, super impressed with the amount of impressions that we're getting out there. Business has been booming. I mean, it's been great. We are super blessed. The one event that I can tell you about that you guys, one of the first events that we actually went live with was our New Year's Eve party. And we went live with it in November, December, and we actually filled the whole 40 lanes for 3 squads.
Wow.
And just a testament of what you guys do and how you guys know the bowling industry from advertising for other things. It's been a true blessing. I'll put it has been a true blessing to find people that actually know and care about the same sport as what we know and care about. And another thing is, like I said, I had a website and it was outdated. And with the team of you and Eric and everybody, we have built the website. We have gone live with it, I think 2 months ago, 3 months
Mhm.
ago, and it's performing very well. We are now doing web reservations. And now that we're doing web reservations, like I said, Eric has been a godsend with stuff like that. Cause if he doesn't know the answer, I definitely don't. But he
Right.
reaches out to somebody that does. And it has been very rewarding on our end and hopefully on your end. To know that you care about the bowling industry like we do, that's what sets you guys apart from a lot of the other marketing companies out there, is because, like I said, I was real nervous. But after sitting and talking to you and working with you a little while, it shows that you guys have a passion for bowling, not just it's just something else to add to our marketing platform.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know from our standpoint, we would like to thank you guys for everything you guys have been doing for us. And we want to continue doing business with you as long as we possibly can.
Likewise.
We haven't used you yet for employment. And I know
Mhm.
you guys can do that. But like I said, we live in a city of 55,000. We hire a lot of teenagers. It's just kind of a, mom and pop shop. We're all related around here. My father-in-law, mother-in-law own it. And my wife and we do everyday day-to-day business, and we bring our kids to work. I mean, before you and I started recording, my son was in here making all kinds of ruckus. And so it's a family business. And to see the joy that Eric, because that's who I've been working with most, because you're a busy dude, he has a love and a passion for what he does. And it's
Mhm.
been real nice to see that we found somebody that does. Because like I said, Jim has probably tried three businesses that just didn't work out. And we've tried
Yeah.
2 or 3 different things and they've never worked out. But you guys know how to do the target and all of that. And our web reservations are doing well. They're not where they could be, but we're also kind of stepping back a little bit because we need to pay off the bumper cars, we need to pay off the clutch, and we know that if we dump more money into you guys and we got that stuff running a little higher, we would probably pay for it faster. But we don't want to see that much growth right away because we're already tired because we're trying to get all that installed, and we got to make sure we know how to work it before we get a whole bunch of
Right.
people in here and then
Yeah.
they're like, well, it's not working, and we're like, I don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah. Line out the door.
Exactly. So we
Yeah.
want to get all of that out before we, just
Mhm.
hit it real hard with marketing. So we want to take a couple of months, just straighten up. And I'm definitely super excited to see how the summer's going to play out and how
Mhm.
blessed we will be this summer. So we want to thank you again. And if anyone has any questions, you're more than free to give them my phone number. I'll talk to anybody about anything that they want to know. I'd be willing to do whatever I need to for you guys.
Yeah, really appreciate that. And it's been awesome to work with you guys. You guys take instruction really well. You follow the things that we've seen work, and it seems to be working really well so far for you guys. I wanted to ask you about like two other things. The first one is you talked about the New Year's party. Any other specific results we can point to, or anything, new faces, increases in business, anything that you can point to?
We have seen an increase in business. Yes, we have seen an increase in the web reservations, which were new anyways, but knowing that it's already out there and you guys have helped us get it on our website and you guys are taking care of our website, it's been real nice that it's one thing I don't have to worry about and try to get people to go there. It's already out there. I've noticed a lot of new faces in here. It's nice to see new faces because I'm the guy that, you walk into Walmart and they're like, hey, it's Sean from the bowling alley. And, yeah, it's cool to see those kids every time I go, but it's also cool to see new faces in Walmart that I'm like,
Hmm.
man, didn't I just see you at Oakwood Bowl? And, you can strike up conversations with stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been very blessed with the new faces and
Hmm.
everything that we have brought in. And well, like I said, we're super blessed. And I owe a lot of that to you guys because you guys technically are doing all my marketing for me right now because that's one step that I got to step off of for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put all the hard work in. We're just telling people about the stuff that you guys have. But actually, that's the next thing I want to talk about is on the front end, people are excited about more business and new faces, more people coming in. But could you talk a little bit of maybe one of the benefits on the back end is that you don't have to do it anymore?
You're 100% correct. One thing that I personally have noticed stepping off of the marketing into that and not worrying about is someone going to post on Facebook or post on the web. I mean, is it all going to be up to date and things like that? Is I'm able to be out in front with the people more. I'm more, I can go and do and speak at different events because I've cleared my schedule enough from trying to take care of all this other stuff that I can't do on the back end. So now I get to go do back end of the job, and we're working on the machines, and I can focus more on certain things like that versus worrying about the website, the Facebook, the Instagram, and the Google apps and all of that. So yes, I've seen a huge relaxation in that.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, I'm taking my Fridays off and I'm getting naps occasionally.
Wow. Unheard of. Talked to you about that 6 months ago. No way.
Yeah. I mean, we've even gone and bought a pizza oven for my restaurant, and we're like slamming pizzas out the door, man, because people, that's one of the things they like. And I only learned that because I like to watch your podcast. This isn't just you guys come in and you help take care of stuff. You have a podcast out there. And that podcast, I mean, I've learned so much from just watching the podcast and from Eric. I mean, I haven't seen all your podcasts, but we came on 6 months ago, so I get to watch one every so often.
Yeah.
And it's very nice to
Yeah,
learn.
it's not us as the experts. We're just talking to the people who've lived it,
Exactly. And you're taking the information that you're learning from those experts that have been doing this for a while, and you're putting into place for those of us, which I can't say that we haven't been in place for a long time because Grandpa did open in 1976. But you're taking what's working for these other centers elsewhere that we don't get to talk to, and you're bringing them together for smaller centers like us. I mean, AMF and Brunswick houses, they all have more money than they can just dump it into to do that. But when you're talking about like a small mom and pop bowling center, we kind of have to watch our P's and Q's when it comes to what we're spending our money on. And we have learned throughout some of this, or I have learned throughout some of this because I'm the one that's kind of in the forefront of all of this. I have learned that there's a lot out there that I didn't even know about. I learned something new. I try to learn something new every day. If not, I try to learn something new business-wise weekly. Because if you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you get in a slump and you're just there.
Right.
Honestly.
Going backwards. You're either growing or dying, right?
That's correct. And we want to grow. We love this business. We have a love for this. And if you don't have a love for what you do, then it's no point in doing it anymore.
Absolutely.
And there for a while, it was getting where the love just wasn't there because we were just strung out so far. You can only do so much.
Right. Yeah,
so
absolutely. The last question I wanted to ask, Sean, is what would you say to someone who's on the fence about working with us?
Give them a try. Give them 6 months. Give Forrest and his team 6 months and really look at not necessarily the downtime. Look at what Forrest and his team can do for you. Because at the end of the day, maybe you'll see that you get to catch up on something that you've been meaning to get onto because now you don't have that extra 3 hours that you're spending on Facebook and emails and everything else. Give them 6 months. And after that 6 months, if you're not completely satisfied, talk to Forrest. He'll take care of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blown away with some of the experiences I've had with BAM. And one thing I do is we advertise on our screens out here, and I put BAM out there. I put Bowling Alley Marketing. I put your logo on my screens because I want everyone to know that we use you. You know what I mean?
I really appreciate that. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Eric, I told Eric last call, and I told him that I'd tell you whenever I got to talk to you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Like I said, it's been a joy to work with you guys. And, just as much as you guys are excited about seeing the growth, so are we, because we've seen it's working and it's exciting that we're putting into it and you guys are seeing the fruits of that. And that's really what it's all about.
Yes, sir.